The year was 1429. France was locked in a death grip. Welcome to Cryptic Mystic Vault, where we dive deep into the hidden history of human civilization. The 100 Years' War, a brutal conflict with England, had ravaged the nation for almost a century. The once proud French army had suffered a string of crushing defeats. Morale had plummeted. Hope seemed lost. The English, with their superior tactics and powerful allies, were close to crushing France entirely. The French king Charles VI was mentally unstable, lost in a world of delusions. His weakness created a power vacuum. Rival factions within the French nobility fought for control, further weakening the kingdom. Charles's own son, the Dauphin Charles, was denied his rightful inheritance by the Treaty of Troyes. This treaty, signed by the English and their French allies, declared the English king, Henry VI, as the heir to the French throne. France teetered on the brink of collapse, its fate hanging by a thread. In the small village of Domremy, far from the battlefields and courtly intrigues, lived a young peasant girl named Joan. She was just 13 years old, a devout and pious girl who spent her days tending sheep and her evenings in prayer. But Joan was no ordinary girl. She claimed to have experienced divine visions. Saint Michael the Archangel, Saint Catherine, and Saint Margaret appeared before her, delivering messages from God. The saint's message was clear and urgent. Joan was chosen by God to save France from the English. She was to drive the invaders from French soil and crown the Dauphin as the rightful king. Joan's visions filled her with a sense of purpose and destiny. She knew what she had to do. She would answer God's call. She would become France's savior. Joan, armed with an unshakable faith and her divine mission, set out to meet the Dauphin Charles. She traveled for 11 days through hostile territory to reach the royal court at Chinon. There, she faced skepticism and doubt. But Joan stood firm. She convinced the Dauphin of her divine calling. Impressed by her conviction and determination, Charles agreed to let her lead a relief force to Orleans. Orleans, a strategic city on the Loire River, was under siege by the English. Its fall would have been disastrous for the French. Joan, with her unwavering faith and tactical acumen, inspired the demoralized French troops. She rallied the citizens of Orleans and led a series of daring assaults against the English siege lines. In a remarkable turn of events, Joan broke the siege in just 9 days. The English, demoralized and defeated, were forced to retreat. Joan of Arc, the peasant girl from Domremy, had become a national heroine. She was hailed as the Maid of Orleans, a symbol of French resistance and divine intervention. The victory at Orleans was a turning point in the war. Joan, emboldened by success, urged the Dauphin to press his advantage. She knew that Charles needed to be crowned at Reims Cathedral, the traditional coronation site of French kings. This act would solidify his claim to the throne and rally the French people behind him. Joan, with her unwavering belief in her divine mission, set out to clear the path to Reims. She led the French army to a series of stunning victories. At Patay, the English suffered a crushing defeat, their army routed. Town after town opened their gates to Joan and the Dauphin. The road to Reims lay open. On July 17, 1429, Charles VII was crowned King of France in Reims Cathedral. Joan stood by his side, her white banner held high, her mission seemingly accomplished. Despite her victories and unwavering loyalty, Joan's enemies within the French court grew envious of her influence. They saw her as a threat to their power. On May 23, 1430, while leading an assault on Burgundian forces at Compiègne, Joan was captured. Her own countrymen, the Burgundians, allied with the English, had betrayed her. They sold her to the English for a hefty sum. The English, eager to discredit Joan and the king she had crowned, put her on trial for heresy in Rouen. The trial was a farce, orchestrated by the English and their collaborators. Joan, a simple peasant girl, was subjected to relentless questioning by learned theologians. She was accused of witchcraft, heresy, and of wearing men's clothing. Despite the absurdity of the charges and her courageous defense, Joan was found guilty. On May 30, 1431, Joan of Arc was burned at the stake in the Rouen marketplace. She was only 19 years old. Her death, a tragic end to a life of unwavering faith and courage, shocked and outraged France. Even in death, Joan's spirit continued to inspire. Her name became a rallying cry for the French, fueling their resistance against the English. 25 years after her execution, Joan's name was cleared. The Church, recognizing the injustice of her trial, declared her innocent. In 1920, Joan of Arc was canonized as a saint by the Roman Catholic Church. Joan of Arc's story is one of extraordinary courage, unwavering faith, and ultimate sacrifice. She was a peasant girl who rose to become a military leader, a national heroine, and a saint. Her legacy continues to inspire, reminding us that even the most ordinary person can achieve extraordinary things when guided by faith and a belief in a higher purpose. Gap 3S. Imagine a world where Joan of Arc's mission failed. Without her pivotal role, the French might have lost the 100 Years' War. This could have led to prolonged English dominance in France, altering the course of European history. Gap 2S. The Renaissance, a period of immense cultural and intellectual growth, might have been delayed. This delay could have stifled the blossoming of art, science, and literature that defined the era. The political landscape of Europe would be vastly different, potentially affecting the rise of nation-states and the spread of Enlightenment ideas. Gap 2S. France, under extended English rule, might not have emerged as a central power in Europe. The balance of power could have shifted, leading to a different set of alliances and conflicts. The ripple effects would extend far beyond France, influencing the course of history in unforeseen ways. Gap 2S. Joan of Arc's success was not just a turning point in the 100 Years' War, it was a pivotal moment that shaped the future of Europe. Her courage and vision were instrumental in forging a path that led to a stronger, unified France. Her legacy is a reminder of the profound impact one person can have on the world, altering the course of history itself. Gap 2S. As we reflect on this alternate history, we are reminded of the importance of courage, faith, and determination. Joan of Arc's story is not just a tale of military triumph but a testament to the power of conviction and the enduring influence of a single individual on the course of human events. If you enjoyed this exploration of history, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating insights.